السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. ونصلي ونسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. وبعد, dear brothers, uh, we are starting today the classes of Usool al-Fiqh. I remember I did some classes a few years ago, but I didn't finish Usool al-Fiqh. And it was in Arabic. Now I am trying to do it in English for the English-speaking students of ilm. And inshallah, we will persist and continue to do it for as long as it takes to finish the subject and have it recorded. What I am using for as a reference for this course is my own book, which is called "The Key to Entering the Science of أصول الفقه مفتاح الدخول إلى علم الأصول", which I compiled together like about 9 years ago or something like that, and 10 years ago, and it was actually the end product of study for over 50 years of reading and studying and doing research in different fields, because I have other books that is related to specific areas of usul fiqh, but I put this book as together as a reference, alhamdulillah ta'ala, and I have put the translation together in English. The book in Arabic, I put the translation, and inshallah, if I can get some help to edit and to make some correction and stuff, I would publish this English one. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here, and uh, let me start talking about the manhaj, the methodology that I use, and in order to study not only usul fiqh, to study all the other sciences related to the field of Islamic subjects, which is the methodology of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah is the title of the people who follow uh, the right guidance of Al-Kitab wa Sunnah. Those who actually on the right path. رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم in hadith خط مستقيما, and he said هذا سبيلي, and then he put some little lines coming out of this main line on the sand, and he said وهذه الطرق, these are the other ways. ثم قرأ the ayah, then he recited the ayah وأن هذا صراطي مستقيما فاتبعوه. This is my sirat, this is my straight sirat, so follow it. ولا تتبعوا السبل فتفرق بكم عن سبيل, and don't go astray following these branches that comes out of it, or that come out of it, in order not to lose the way and the guidance. So that's what we follow. That's what we try to follow all the time in every study we do. This methodology of the people of Sunnah and Jama'ah is derived from Kitab and Sunnah, as we can see now, because Usul al-Fiqh is about the rules that the intellect, the human mind extract from Kitab and Sunnah as the basis, Kitab and Sunnah, in order to look into the dalil, the proofs, in order to show, like what we're going to say now, to show how we can act, or how we can act in our life. So it's called the methodology of the collection of practical Sharia ruling derived from detailed evidence. Uh, this is the fiqh. تعريف الفقه. تعريف الفقه is a collection of practical Sharia rulings. There are Sharia rulings. We look into this Sharia because it's kind of a circle here. What we do is or the scholars do, it started from the detailed ayah and hadith, the detailed seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu, all the sunnah of Rasul, al-Quran, number one. Number two, the sunnah of Rasulullah, qawl, fi'l, taqreer, the saying, the doing, and the approval of Rasulullah sallallahu. These three ways of sunnah. So these things happened. The people, the Sahaba lived all these with Rasulullah in the 23 years of his blessed life, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they lived all this. So there was a collection of data of all these, the Quran, and how it was applied in this situation, what Rasulullah added in this and that, how did he explain, how did he gave directions in the three ways: qawl, saying, in doing things, in guiding people, the Sahaba. There was this base of data. This base of data, the scholars who came after Sahaba, they looked starting from the time of almost the beginning of the 2nd century, where Abu Hanifa was from Tabi'in, the followers of the Sahaba. Abu Hanifa is the oldest of the four Imams, and he was born, I think, in 83 Hijri or something. So he is from the young followers, صغار التابعين. And then after Abu Hanifa came Malik, who was actually a little bit younger, and he died, if I remember, 178 as well. I'm not sure, but that's what I remember. Then came Shafi'i, the student of Malik, and then came Ahmad ibn Hanbal, and in the same time there was other big imams as big as these four, like Imam al-Awza'i, Abi Thawr, uh, uh, Malik, Al-Layth ibn Sa'd, and these all have madhabs as well, but there was no students to carry this madhab like there was students for the four, so they were compiled into these four madhab, and we still have these madhab, by the way. But so what did they do is that they looked into these detailed things, and they started to write books in regards to some specific aspects. Like one of the first books that was written, it was written by Abu Yusuf. Abu Yusuf is in the same age as Abu Hanifa, but he was his student, Abu Hanifa's student. And he wrote his famous book, Kitab al-Khiraj, which is the book of Khiraj. Khiraj is the land levy, the land tax on the land that was taken by force. So we put tax on the people, we leave them to work and do everything, but they pay tax. on it as well, every year. So he wrote the first one of the first books in fiqh, which is Kitab al-Khiraj. Then after that came Muhammad ibn al-Hassan. He wrote a book about الغزوات, the فتوحات and غزوات, actually the fiqh related to that. Then came Shafi'i, and he wrote Kitab al which he produces at the year 199, which is the end year of the second century. Kitab al the mother, which is the second version of it, because he had it twice. One when he was in Iraq, which called the old madhab, and then after he went to Egypt and he faces a new waqa, he had to look into his fatwa, not his rulings, the fatwa, and he changes the fatwa in Kitab al and he produces the one that we deal with now, which is al-madhab al-jadid, the new madhab, which he finished, he produced when he went to Egypt, settled at the year, he it was wrote year 199. He died, rahmatullahi alayhi wa radiyallahu an, as year 2004, like 5 years after he did. So uh, this is how the fiqh. So the fiqh is reporting and writing the rulings on based on the evidence, in general, based on evidence in general, derived from Kitab and the three methods of Sunnah. This is fiqh. So Usool al-Fiqh, we added, see, al-Fiqh, there is Usool al-Fiqh, the fundamentals of Fiqh, of the jurisprudence, like it is translated in English. So what I actually was saying is that this collection of data that started to evolve, the fuqaha started to realize that there are, of course, it was in the minds of the Sahaba and Tabi'een and everything, but nobody actually geared up to write it down, because these things take time in order to get into the stage of being documented. So the first one who actually started to do that was Al-Imam Shafi'i, uh, where uh, where he started to notice the usul behind the furu' al-fiqh, these branches of fiqh that were documented. There are usul, which is roots or fundamentals or general principles that underlay the those branches of fiqh, that connects them and make them related in a way where you can use them, because you notice that this goes in this in this حكم شرعي, and this goes in حكم شرعي as it goes. So it's kind of a connection between those branches, and they are the foundation for those. So usul al-fiqh, like you connect both. Al-usul are the roots, al-fiqh are the branches, based on dalil, ahkam al-shar'iyya. So usul al-fiqh are the basis and the foundation of the ahkam al-shar'iyya. So this is the meaning of the terminology of أصول الفقه, أصول الفقه, the principles of jurisprudence, or أصول الفقه. There is a difference between الحكم الشرعي and الفتوى. الحكم الشرعي is like we said, الزاني والزانية فجلوا كل واحد منهما. الحكم الشرعي هذا حكم الشرعي. But الفتوى is Ali Muhammad Mahmoud made zina, and this was his circumstances. There was 3 shahid and 1 hesitated, and he was in his house and stuff. Whatever happened, and then the faqih comes and looked at this, and he say, this is what we have to do about him. So it's a hukm shar'i, but related to a specific case. So this is the difference between the hukm shar'i and the fatwa. So this is what they call أصول الفقه principles, or الدليل الكلي, the general proof. Like we can give example of الأصول, like الأمر يفيد الوجوب ما لم تصرفه قرينة. Command obligates the mandatory action unless there is a proof of otherwise. So this is like one of usul al-fiqh principles. Like if there is a command, if'al, do, it indicates that you have to do it. But whether you have to do it right away, or you can take time, this is another point, which is a subject of this rule, because we agree on, if it was said in Sharia, if'al, أقيموا الصلاة, افعلوا, we have to أقيم الصلاة. But whether we have to do it, the command of if'al, of do, right away, or after time, we are going to discuss this later. It's a sub-subject. Whether it is obligatory to do it, or it is request to do, of course, the vast majority of Ahl Sunnah say it indicates obligation. It means you have to do it, because there is no qarina, there is no indicator suggests otherwise. Like there is nothing that can suggest, nothing of another ayah or hadith, or a circumstances, a situation where it happened that there is something to make it, oh no, it means that it is not really, I don't have to exactly do it, like كتابة الدين. إذا تداينتم إلى أجل مسمى بدين إلى أجل مسمى فاكتبوه. But then he said, إن كانت تجارة حاضرة, then you don't have to. If you are doing this in buying and selling in the market, and you have to go to the bank to get the money back or stuff, you don't have to do it, because it's going to happen in one sitting like this. There is no so there is an indication here that faktubuh, it doesn't mean you have to write it right. You have to write it right away. So here there is an indicator, qarina, to suggest otherwise. So that's one rule. Another one, another thing. اليقين لا يرفع بالشك. like like certainty does not gets removed with doubts. You don't abandon certainty by a doubt. Like for example, you made wudu and you prayed and then you went and sat and stuff, and then and then it came um, Asr. You did Zuhr and then it came Asr after a couple hours, and you forgot whether you did break the wudu or not. But you remember for sure that you made wudu because you prayed, and but you don't remember whether you broke it or not. So you can actually here, what is the yaqeen, what is the certainty here is that you made wudu. What is the doubt is that you break it. So if you wish, you can pray based on your certainty, and you don't take the doubt, unless you say, but I will make wudu anyways, because wudu is, it's a thawab, and I will feel better. That's not obligatory to do it. That's then you do it as tatawwu, mandub, but you can go ahead and do the prayer. So al-yaqeen لا يزول بالشك. Another usul fiqh, ما لا يدرك كله لا يترك كله. If something cannot be achieved to its fullness, does not get abandoned in its whole holiness. You don't abandon it completely. Do what you can, and it is derived from the ayah فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Make taqwa to Allah. Listen, do the commands of Allah as much as you can. So what ما لا يدرك كله لا يترك كله. If you do not achieve a whole, do not abandon the whole. Do what you can. So these are the kind of principle that usul fiqh is all about. Actually, usul fiqh, as we can see, we are going to see that it is based, there are about 5 or 6 branches, which I'm going to send you guys the graphic to it, that are the subject of the whole of usul fiqh as it develops after with after الشافعي. Because what happened is that I told you that الشافعي to uh, الشافعي started to write the 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 usul, and he came up with the first book of usul and one of the greatest documents, and he was the leader, the creator of علم usul al-fiqh, which means he didn't create because it was there embedded, and it was understood, but it means that he was the one who put it together in this comprehensive and very complete way in his book Al-Risal, the message. The way he compiled the Risala is actually different than the way that Usul Fiqh was compiled after him. And I'm going to give you like an explanation of the methodology of Shafi'i, and the 2 types of usul that came, the 2 schools of usul that came out uh, based on his work actually, but they chose, there are 2 different way of developing principles of jurisprudence. Shafi'i, what he did is that he looked at Al-Quran, and he said, looked at the syntax of the language. He looked at the meanings underlay the words itself, the context, and the general uh, the general usage of the Arabic tongue, because like the ulama said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said بلسان عربي مبين. So it is based on a pure lisan Arabi, an Arabic tongue, the use of the Arabic words at the time of Rasulullah, not any time, not now, no. It is the use of the words and the context that it is used at the time of Rasulullah. This is how Quran was understood. And this is what Shafi'i based his work on. And he explained what are the main rules in the Arabic language. For instance, he discussed, of course, after he in Risala, after he talked about uh, the ayahs and the proof of the ayah and the hadith and this and this kind of proof. Then he talked about um, how we should look at the ayah. He talked about al-am, the general and the specific. And he indicated he indicated the general, uh, which is the general is all over the Arabic tongue and in Quran. والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن عام. It's general. All المطلقات, all divorcee women, they wait three قروء, three قر, and قر can be understood in language as to purify, and it can be viewed as to have periods, the third period. So when they have the third period, they are okay. And people said no. So let's continue anyways, and then we. So I was actually talking about the the عام and the khas, the general and the specific, which is uh, which was indicated in the Risala, and he talked about the absolute and the the specified of the absolute, and about the whole the ijmal, the holiness, and the bayan, the explanation of it, and this kind of thing. And he depended he depended on the pure Quran and Sunnah uh, in his book. All his book is Quran and Hadith. And then he talk about these in extraction says, but the basis was the Quran and Sunnah uh, uh, solely on ayat and hadith. That's what, when you go back to Risala, you find that. Later on, when Shafi'i came, two actually schools of writing Usool al-Fiqh emerged. One they call madrasat, the school of al-Mutakallimun and الشافعية, مدرسة الشافعية والمتكلمون. متكلمون, I don't know, they translate it as methodologists, and but متكلمون in our understanding is people of talk, because they don't, because of something else we discuss in Aqidah. But مدرسة الشافعية والمتكلمون, because uh, الشافعي himself and his close followers, They were not متكلمون. They were أهل السنة. They were متكلمون. But later on, the people of علم الكلام, they were actually on the Shafi'i madhab. So for some reason, they connected الشافعية والمتكلمون as if all the Shafi'i are متكلمون. No, all the Shafi'i are not متكلمون. But most of the later Shafi'iyya are متكلمون, like Al-Ghazali and Al-Juwayni, and these people, Baydawi, they are all Shafi'i. Then there are the second school is Madrasat al-Ahnaf, the Hanafi people. They developed it in a different way. What is the difference between the two? Like I said, there was a collection of data. In fact, I did not start the recording. Oh, no, I started. So there was a collection of data, like I said, which is the fiqh, that is in the hands of all fuqaha. And this collection of hukm, of الحكم الشرعي, al-Ahnaf put this collection related to like the field, the different subjects or titles of fiqh, and then they derive from these what the principles and the foundation that underlay those this collection of data related to this subject, like al-wudu. So they talk about what the fuqaha said about al-wudu, and what the ayat first and hadith, and then they say, so the rules here are this and this and this. So they start from the data and then they move to the principles. What is Shafi'iyya and the متكلمين الشافعية did, the other school, is that they studied the data. So they studied the data, they extracted the principles and the rules, they wrote it, and then with each of them, they put examples from this data. So you see the difference between the two schools. One deals with the data, and then it extracts the rules, shows the rules, and one put the rules that actually were based, of course, it was based on this, and then they put examples. We can see here that the two schools are exactly are based on the same. There is no difference between the two at the end product. So the principles are the same. That's why when they compare in books of Usool al-Fiqh, they compare the principles to principles and rules to rules. But the way that was written and derived is just different. The the school of the Hanafis is much more complicated and harder to study, because you need to be into fiqh, a lot into fiqh, in order to follow with their logic, in order to come down to the principles. The Shafi'iyya al-Mutakallimun, they give you the principles already, and they tell you examples. This is example in the hukum, example in the hukum. And this is much easier for people who study. So those who tend to be more fiqh oriented, they study according to Ahnaf. Those who are more logic and reasoning oriented, they study on Shafi'iyya, or like myself, like engineering background. What can I say? So those who actually study, and to tell you the truth, most of the contemporary books is based on that, and but the كتب الأصول in الشافعية on either شافعية متكلمين or the school of الأحناف, there are many books of usul that are, beyond count. that was written either on this type or in the other on the other type. So this is how it was developed. Of course, المالكية also wrote in أصول الفقه, and they wrote at the same way the approach of المتكلمين والشافعية. Uh, of course, the big names in أصول الفقه, the huge names in أصول الفقه of the school of الشافعية المتكلمين, the book البرهان, the proof by الجويني, book المستصفى للغزالي أو المعتمد لأبي الحسين البصري, but أبي الحسين البصري was معتزلي. So because they always say there are four pillars of أصول الفقه in this school, which is البرهان للجويني, المستصفى للغزالي, المعتمد لأبي الحسين البصري والمنهاج للبيضاوي, and شرح الأسنوي على المنهاج أو شرح المنهاج للأسنوي. These are the four pillars. أصول الشافعي, the big huge names are like تأسيس النظر للدبوسي and أصول البزدوي للإمام البزدوي الحنفي. The more recent, of course, that was written, the big names like إرشاد الفحول للشوكاني, and then more recent in the last century, أصول الفقه للإمام الخضري, أو أصول فقه لمحمد أبو زهرة، أو الأصول الفقه لعبد الوهاب خلاف، أو أصول الفقه لعبد الكريم زيدان. Many people wrote in Usool fiqh, but these are the big names of our time and the old time. So this is this is a background of what Usool al-Fiqh compiles, how was it compiled together, what are the different schools that discussed Usul al-Fiqh, and then we will then move to the second division, because they are the division of al-Hakim, who the ruler. The ruler here means the one who established the Sharia, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we will do that, inshallah, in the next lesson. Let's wrap this up for now, and I hope next time it will be more productive and organized. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.